meet Dr. Alexander Thomas, who's MS MPhil and is known to all of you. Just for those who may not know, that he was the founder member, president of the Association of Healthcare Providers of India, and president of the Association of National Board Accredited Institutions of India, founder member of the President Consortium of Accredited Healthcare Organizations, recipient of CAHO Lifetime Achievement Award, and recognized as an icon of quality and patient safety in healthcare by the Society of Emergency Medicine, and a close friend. Thank you very much, Alexander.
Thank you. Now, the topic was powerful lessons learned from managing disasters. So I'm going to talk a little differently because we have experts on the field sitting with me. I'm no expert on this. I will just go on to a simple old age saying prevention is better than cure. And if you look at disasters, fire, floods, etc., climate change is a result of air pollution, water and chemical contamination, and other factors. And most disasters are because of climate change. So I'll focus on that. I think it's very different from what my other speakers are going to talk to you. Let me just give you a small statistic, and please feel free to stop me because I know we're running behind schedule. By 2030, climate change could cause irreversible negative impacts on health, which could push more than 100 million people into poverty, into extreme poverty, not just poverty. Diseases which are related to this are going to increase, rising sea levels and temperatures, different patterns of precipitation, and more frequent extreme weather conditions, which are natural disasters, are going to be also to negative health outcomes. So let me very quickly go through what are the things that we as healthcare providers can do. Presently, I think we are ill-equipped to respond to these challenges. The floods in Chennai, the floods in Kerala, and other natural disasters have shown that, and I think we need to pull up our socks. What is the role of the healthcare sector in this? There are two areas. One is as first responders, and second is climate mitigation and adaptation. As first responders, I think that's a lot of things that we have to do at this stage, is that we have a very key role to play. Strengthening health infrastructure and preparing communities for the emerging health threats from expanding geographies of vector-borne diseases, threatened food and nutrition security, health hazards arising due to air pollution, unanticipated events like floods, cyclones, heat waves, cold waves, etc. So we actually need to come up and build up climate resilient hospitals and communities. And these institutions need to be resilient to the impacts of climate change, because we are a center for healthcare, and the buildings crumble and there is no center. So we need to have a facility which is resilient to this. The second, and to my mind equally important, is climate mitigation and adaptation. The health sector, paradoxically, is also a source of carbon emissions, as it is being one of the most intensive, energy-intensive sectors. It contributes to greenhouse gases through care delivery, by use of energy, transport, waste generation, and by sourcing and producing technologies from carbon-intensive supply chains for pharmaceuticals, medical devices, food, and other areas. Worldwide, and this may be interesting, the health sector contributes 5% of the GHG, which is considerable. These are different in various regions, but 5% is a very significant amount. And our health sector accounts for about 2.6 billion of the 52 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide emitted globally. So although this seems like a very small proportion, I think there is much we can do in both these areas. So what is the way forward? Sorry. Many of you may not know, there is already something called the Indian Green Building Council in India, and they have already started work in this area. I'll quickly run through some of the things that we need to do. If it's a new hospital, I think the first thing that we need to look at is the site selection. These are the first building blocks in a green healthcare system. It accommodates, when you look at the site, evaluate the climate change and future weather risks, look at the pre-site assessment, look at how you can maximally orient the building, involve the communities which support increased development, and also accommodate future development. The next is, I think, a very important part is how do you look at indoor quality, and here you can look at both existing hospitals and new hospitals. I won't go through too much in detail, but those are the points there. Energy and ambience is, again, another area where a lot of importance and planning should go into this. When you're planning a hospital, look at maximizing natural daylight. Not only does it save on electricity, it also helps the patient and members of the staff. Existing hospitals can do something like occupancy sensors, low LED lighting, task lights to provide illumination, and encouraging the use of eco-friendly refrigerants and other material. New hospital, it's much easier to do this when you commission systems, passive energy designs, and other matters. Water use is another area that is very crucial. Misuse of water, contamination of water contributes greatly to climate change and to natural disasters. We are one of the largest customers for municipal water and also in the sewage system. Existing hospitals, I think it's important that you enhance the efficiency of plumbing fixtures, and now you get so many different types of fixtures which optimizes the use of water, locate and correct any leakages. Rainwater harvesting, it's now become mandatory, but this helps. Awareness among patients and staff is of paramount importance, because generally as a community, we are not clued into this, and we assume that there's an endless supply of water. Wastewater plants are important. Again, in new hospitals, it is important, much easier, because you can and plan for recycled grey water for irrigation, and try and minimize or eliminate the need for potable water. Biomedical waste management, I won't go too much into this, because this is dimmed down in NABH, and then now with the new Pollution Act, this has become part of the routine. This is another area, I think, where we can make a difference: procurement of materials and resources. We must try and reduce the use of plastics and try and use only certified green building materials. And there's something called eco-certified interior projects, which are environment friendly, and both in old hospitals and in new hospitals, it is important to start looking into that, because at the present time, when we plan a hospital, we really don't look into all that. I think the health sector generally doesn't talk too much, doesn't get too involved in environment. I think we are so focused on what we are doing, focused on medicine, that we really do not pay attention to these matters. And the AHPI and the Public Health Foundation, we are planning a national health conclave with climate change and health as the only subject. We're getting 100 experts from all over the world and getting a white paper on this, on which we will submit to the ministry and also circulate to all our hospitals, so that how they can become good first responders, and more or equally important, how can they be part of a system which makes the world a better place for our children and grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Thomas.